Welcome back, everybody. This is JenSandwiches, here to take another bite out of Zombie Exodus Safe Haven. I believe the last time we just picked a group leader, and it was Jamie. And I think now we're about to pick a name. So, hell yeah. Oh, interesting. Did it not save where I was at? It didn't save where I was at. I wonder why. Okay. Bear with me while I click through all the same things I clicked through before. Okay, so we're finally back to where we were. I'm not quite sure what I did differently, but apparently instead of Jamie being the leader, now I'm the leader. So, yeah, again, not quite sure how that happened because I thought I picked all the same things, but whatever. I'm leader now. Okay, so cheers rise as the survivors move around you for congratulations. You feel pats on your back, a few punches to your arm, and a slap to your forehead from an arm in a gray trench coat. Lovely. You spin to find the person who did it, but only see the familiar faces of your fellow survivors. What about a name for our group? Brody says. I used to play on a Little League team, the Night Sharks. I always loved that name. It gave a sense of stupidity? Madison blurts out. Camaraderie, Parker says. I like the idea. Nothing cheesy if you're gonna do it. Riley's face scrunches in worry. Something with a hard edge, like the Reapers or the Devil's Recruits. What are we, a metal band? Kelly says. Rachel chimes in. Traditionally, an organization's name stands for the qualities it represents, but I also fancy cute animals, clever kittens, for example. What do you think, Derek? Jamie asks. Hell yeah, I want a group name. Do you want to pick our name? Hell yeah, I want to pick our name. I love these. And apparently some of these were from other people suggesting names on Facebook when the creator was like, if you could name your group, what would you name it? Which I think is amazing and awesome. I've seen all of these before because this was part of the beta. My personal favorite is Too Fast to Feast On because I think that's really funny. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. I don't want to do my own name. I like Too Fast to Feast On. The celebration is cut short when the forest comes to life with a herd of deer rushing from the tree line and running along the edge of the woods. Turning to watch them, you hear the infected, and the forest opens as they march out. They wear the clothes of campers, road workers, and hikers, and their broken bodies sway and shuffle randomly like rodents searching through a maze. Some have dirt and mud caked on their clothes and faces, hiding the decay in a mask made from the earth. One has a torn leg, and from it sticks a tent pole which dangles upright like an insect's antenna. Ew. Another drags half its crushed body, leaving particles of its own viscera behind it. I think that's how you say that, I don't know. They cross the field with only low moans and haven't spotted the living by the highway. Yet. Their voices growl in a communion of apathy, their mouths split wide, and they call out in their inhuman language for you to join them in their version of the afterlife. Look! From the road, Nathan yells, and more zombies shamble along the highway in the direction you were traveling, past the accident. They walk in multitude, and more than 2 scores scuttle slow and steady, drifting along the road. With the area secured and your group already on standby, they group up near the caravan and watch the horde slither and shamble. We need to kill them before the 2 hordes combine, you yell. We need to split into 2 teams, one on the highway and one in the field. Each team focuses on killing off the 2 smaller hordes. A slow build of anxious energy spreads through the group, ending with some survivors rushing for weapons, some standing there in shock, while others turn to stare at the oncoming undead. Wait, why are we splitting into 2 teams? Kelly shouts above the chatter. We can just drive away. We don't have enough room for everyone with the van down, Jamie says as he raises his submachine gun. Besides, most of the vehicles are running low on fuel. We won't get far. I'll just take the Jeep and use the big gun. I'll mow down every single one, Rosie says, pointing to the mounted gun. Lopez leans over the side of the Jeep. Looks like it's almost out of ammo. Rosie shrugs. It's up to you then, Derek. I can use it or not. My opinion, we should use it while we're still alive. Saving bullets doesn't help the dead. That's a lot of zombies out there. Church holds up his arm to wipe his forehead, dangling the large revolver held in his hand. We should run along the highway. Rachel rips out a magazine from a submachine gun, checks the ammo, and jams it back in. There's no time. Once those two masses of the dead spot us, they'll outrun a number of us. My ride is fine, so me and my ma are out of here, Riley says and steps toward his red Chevy. Nora crosses her arms, letting her cane fall. We're not leaving these people, Riley. Damn it, you gotta think of someone other than yourself. We can fit some of the slow ones in our car. Riley hangs his head, his voice soft and unsure. As the survivors debate, you look across the field and see the undead moving closer, and though they aren't aware of your group yet, their attack is inevitable. The highway zombies are farther out, but crossing the distance faster. Should Riley or anyone else drive off, the roar of an engine will awaken the horde. If your group runs, they'll leave all their supplies. Dealing with the horde provides your only chance at survival. And as the survivors stand around and exchange opinions on how to deal with the current situation, the infected wander closer. Alright, I have to properly motivate my group because otherwise they'll do a shitty job later. So, yeah, you know what, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, I don't want to threaten everyone. Actually, no, this sounds better. Inspiration. Yeah, okay. The group is full of anxiety and hopelessness. If these people are going to survive, they need an emotional boost. It's time to help them feel the right emotions, the ones that will inspire them to survive. The survivors go quiet, and all turn their attention to you. We don't have time to debate strategies. The worst thing we can do is split up and give in to fear and self-preservation. If we do this together and survive, that's how things will be from now on. The infected are coming, and they'll work together if given the chance. So everyone needs to focus, grab a weapon, and prepare to fight. There's no second chance. The survivors show glazed, unsure looks, and though no one argues or objects to your words, their worries remain. Low growls echo through the countryside, and a patch of clouds covers the sun, coating the area in shade. As leader, you... I know I have the best chances if I do it myself, but damn, it takes a long time. Okay. Bear with me while I do this part. I know this can be kind of boring to watch, but gotta do it. Maybe someone will find it useful. Maybe somebody struggled and people died. I don't know. So let me assign the teams. So when I did it on the beta, I did it based on what weapons everybody had. So, like, for example, for every melee weapon, I made sure that there was a gun on that team also to try to even it out. But then, like, sometimes they're also kind of picky, so, like, for example, the siblings want to be on the same team together, and which can get kind of annoying, and you can tell them no, but I found it was easier just to put them on the same team. So I'm going to try to do that. And like Rosie and Driver. Is Driver even here? Do I not have to worry about him? Oh, he's not here. I guess I killed him. Good, I don't have to worry about that then. I can put Rosie wherever the fuck I want her. But if Driver was alive, like, he and Rosie would have to be on the same team. And it's like, ah. Okay, so... baseball bat. So... I gotta put lacrosse stick. Actually, no, hang on. Let's look over team 1. Or can I not take away? That's fine. Where's Brody? Are these in alphabetical order? Yes, they are. Cool. Okay. There. They're on the same team. So... Machete... no more team 1. Let's do team 2. Actually, oh, there we go. I can unassign. Okay. Bailey, get off of team 1. You're going to team 2. I always get Bailey and Brody mixed up, and I think that, like, they're both Madison's sibling when they're not. My bad. Okay, and now, do we have another machine gun? Jamie has one. Okay, I'll put Jamie on team 2. Where is he? Ugh! It's acting kind of glitchy. Sorry, guys. It's a little hard to scroll it on my phone. Okay. Let's put Benji on team 2, because why not? Okay. And then I think Jamie and Woody are also picky and have to be together. So I'll go ahead and put Woody on this team. Let's go back to team 1. Again, I'm sorry, this is so tedious, I know. Kelly. Because she had the other melee weapon. Now I think that's all the melee weapons assigned. I think. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a rifle on team 2. Do I have any more rifles? Not sure. So I'll put Riley and Nora on team 1 because like they also have to be together, which is kind of annoying too, but it's okay. When you mention Nora's name, Riley explodes with rage. No way! Ma is not going out there to kill zombies. I don't know where you get off thinking you can put her life in danger. Riley, will you shut up and stop treating me like a lame horse? Nora shouts. She stands with her cane and limps over to the highway team. I'm no Wilma Rudolph, but I'm not helpless. Are we supposed to know who Wilma Rudolph is? Madison asks. I miss Googling stuff, Parker says with a pathetic stare at his blank phone. Wilma Rudolph was an Olympic sprinter back in the 50s. You kids are making me show my age, Nora says with a chirping chuckle. Now, I'm joining that team, right? You should let her fight if she wants to, Kelly says, giving you a hard look. Derek isn't an ageist, Parker says. Woody, Bailey, and even Church nod or show signs of agreeing she should be allowed to fight, while Rachel and Jamie show disapproval. She's going to help, okay? She wants to help. I'm letting her help. Fuck you guys. Yeah, it's unfair to treat Nora differently due to her age. So there. I like how there's an option to use her as a fucking distraction for the zombies. That's so mean. I wonder if you click that if she would die. Gosh. Okay, so I have 5 and 4 currently, so... what other weapon? Oh, Parker has a knife? Parker, really? A knife? Alright, Parker, I'm putting you on team 1 because why not? Go on team 1. Do it! Okay, so they have 3 melee people and the other team only has 2. So I'm putting Rosie on the team with more melee people because she'll use the gun on like the big scary truck thing. And that'll help them out a lot instead of, you know, them sitting there with hardly anything they can use. Okay, back to team 2. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on team 1 and 4 on team 2. Let's go back to team 2. I'll probably end up joining team 2 myself. At this point, I don't really care. I'm just trying to assign out everybody as evenly as possible. Okay. So now I think I'm even. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I'm going to put Rachel on team 1. And then I'll go on team 2. Okay. Oh, here. Yeah, here's my summary. So team 1, I've got Brody, Kelly, Madison, Nora, Parker, Rachel, Riley, and Rosie. And I've got some pretty decent guns on that one, but also I have 3 melee weapon people. And then Team 2, I've got Bailey, Benji, Church, Jamie, Lopez, Nathan, and Woody. And then myself. So I think we have like slightly less firepower on Team 2, but with me being on there, it should even it out and make it okay. You join the team at the side of the field to intercept the mob of infected. Before the battle begins, you take a quick look at your currently equipped weapons, Springfield rifle and trench knife. Considering you may need to use up a lot of ammunition during this fight, I'm not even sure what I have, but they sound like they're good. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Since I don't seem to have a lot. And I'm pretty sure the trench knife was my specialty, if I remember properly. Let's see. Let's see. At least I thought. Maybe not. I am not doing well. What happened to me that my health is so low? What happened? Don't know. Skill reference, yeah. What are my skills? Oh wait, no, not the reference, damn it. I want to know my skills. Okay, well I'm decent in close combat weapons. And hand-to-hand combat. Alright. Let's go back. I'm keeping those. I think I'll be fine. As the few zombies who lead the pack spot the living, they charge over the dark road, riling those behind from their wandering days. Their screeching cries reach your team, who show a mix of anxiousness and confidence. Spread out and wait until they're in range, you shout. Fire when ready. Those without guns need to kill any that get too close. You survey your teammates as they prepare for battle. Woody balances his rifle in both hands, which shake as he aims at the lead zombie. On the far right side of the line, Bailey waits with a baseball bat, which she holds in a perfect stance like she's been swinging it all her life, while Benji stands on the far left, holding a machete, his eyes wide and face flushed with sweat. The zombies let out a tremendous primal howl as they advance to 50 yards and spot your team. The unified growl calls from the pack, and they break into an agitated run. Here they come, Jamie hollers as he racks the bolt on his FN-90 submachine gun. As the infected approach, you choose a weapon. Rifle first. Yeah, rifle first. With a sudden crackle of gunfire, your team attacks. Bloody ribbons fly from the first few zombies, and they flop to the ground and writhe in the fleeting end of animated life. More come, and the next barrage of bullets takes them down. When one escapes fatal attention, Church and Jamie bring it down. Church raises his revolver in both hands as he aims at the closest zombie. Hell hath opened and released its legions. As the first of the infected fall, you raise your Springfield rifle. Your first shot finds its home in the head of an infected, followed by another, and as each falls dead to the field, a new zombie takes its place. Something in you clicks with each kill, like a dial turning and lowering the volume of your thoughts, focusing you to the task. They're no longer raging, mindless zombies, but a series of twisted, meaningless shapes. Their bodies no longer resemble humans, but moving, harmless mannequins. "Keep it up, Derek, you're killing them all by yourself," Jamie shouts as he targets a far-off zombie. As one breaks from the pack and races at Woody, you fire a shot and spill his diseased brains onto the asphalt. The feel of the weapon in your hand and the sudden death it causes raises your confidence. "Thank you," Woody says and backs away from the fallen corpse. Lopez stops shooting and gives you a hard look. "Who trained you to be a marksman?" As you set your sights on a zombie and pull the trigger, nothing happens. With your Springfield rifle out of ammo, you search for a spare magazine. You reload it with the ammo you're carrying. With the infected pouring across the field, your team fights on. They show their struggle as they fight, and though they're working as a team, they show the limits of their ability to move as a coordinated unit. When one survivor fails to make a killing blow, another fumbles along to finish the job. They battle as individuals, and in the days or weeks to come, they'll need to find unity if they want to endure the harsh realities of the apocalypse. Though they battle with a sense of knowing the stakes involved, Their faces show how wary and disoriented they've become. Weeks ago, they lived quiet lives, and now they're forced to battle the monsters of the new world. Their spirits reflect their hope to survive this ordeal, but they can't take much more of this. With the constant stream of zombies, you defend your team with your Springfield rifle. More come, and you backtrack towards the crash site. "I'm amazed at your kill count," Nathan shouts. He flinches as a spray of blood hits his shirt. A cloud of gun smoke fogs the field, and corpses litter the surface as the rest of the undead step over the fallen, relentless in their hunt. You've thinned the herd, and only a few stragglers remain, shuffling towards your team of survivors. "I'm out of ammo," Nathan calls out. 3 lie dead to his shotgun, which he tosses to the ground before drawing a pistol. Lopez lowers his rifle to the side and switches magazines. "Down to my last mag." "Save your ammo," you shout as the last few infected close in on your team. They fall like the rest of their horde. Bailey lashes out with her blood-covered baseball bat and cracks a zombie on the cap of his skull. He drops to the field beside the 4 others she's killed, and she surveys her work with a proud smile. "We did it," Nathan yells and pats Benji on the back, though the British man holds his composed expression. "It's amazing we all lived. Not that I'm complaining, but at least one of us should be zombie food right now," Woody says as he picks up a twig from the grass and chews on it in the corner of his mouth. "Hell yeah," Lopez says and runs up to you with a quick hug. "Oh, I forgot I had a romance option with Lopez." His arms slide low on your back, but a moment later he breaks away to congratulate another survivor. As he does, he looks back at you, eye to eye. The howlers of the undead call from across the crash site, cutting your team's celebration short. Looking over, you watch the highway team falling back to the caravan, followed by the horde. "They need our help, let's go," you say, and your team joins the other group. Your team reaches the crash site to rejoin the rest of the survivors. As you make it to your bandit jeep, you spot a black Bentley luxury car rolling along the road towards your group. Its tinted windows hide any passengers, but as it closes in on the impassable blockade, the driver's side window rolls down and a woman leans out. "Need help?" she shouts as the motor cuts. She has light, almost white, inch-long hair and waves her hand excitedly, like you're a long-lost relative. She leaps from the car, dragging a shotgun out. "Hi, name's Gina," the fair-haired woman says, walking towards you. "I heard gunfire from just a short stretch away and saw you fighting the dead. If you need a hand with—" "We gotta decide now," Church yells as he opens the door of his Cadillac. "I say we all drive off. If the van don't work, we can leave it." "If we go, we're leaving a lot of our supplies." Jamie marches up, drinks the entire contents of a bottle of water, and wipes his sweaty brow with his arm. "Whatever you choose to do, I want to help," Gina says to the group. She slats shells into her shotgun as she speaks. "We can find new supplies if we're alive," Church says, his eyes bulging. Bailey runs up from the camper, cleaning blood off her baseball bat with a scrap of cloth patterned with balloons and kittens, a baby's bib. "What if we go up that hill over there? It's steep, so the infected won't be able to follow." A long wail cuts her off. You glance back to the field, which the dead have nearly crossed, their numbers never seeming to end. "My mom will never climb that hill," Riley shouts. "We're leaving." "That hill is a great idea, actually," Rachel says, approaching from her group's vehicle. She has a different weapon in hand now, an M24 sniper rifle, the military version of a Remington Model 700. "Too many remain to fight in the open. We need high ground." "Look, we don't have time for this," Benji shouts, the muscles in his neck bulging. "We need to go now. The infected are right there." In a sudden burst of motion, Brody sprints a few yards up the hill. "We can make it up to the top with no problem. It won't even be that hard. We can help one another. Heck, I'll carry people on my back." Lopez's carbine barks out fire as a few zombies around the caravan. "We elected a leader to eliminate this kind of rigmarole. Make up your mind already," Woody says, slapping the back of a disabled car. As you listen to the survivors discuss ideas on how to deal with the horde, you prepare to issue your next order as the new leader. Climbing the hill is the only option. With the steep rise, the zombie horde will struggle to follow, though your own companions might find ascending just as challenging. If your group makes it, their survivors with loaded firearms can kill the infected. Going up the hill might prove treacherous for some, so saving everyone could prove difficult. Some of the group will need to defend the hill, while others will have to climb up and scout the summit. Right now, you're assuming the top of the hill is safe. Plus, everyone is exhausted, and resources are fading. Keeping too many below to fight the infected wastes energy and ammunition. As the group scrambles to deal with the coming horde, you dash to the front of the caravan and raise your arms to call attention. Everyone, get to the hill. We need to work together and get everybody to the top. Work fast and help each other. Look out for infected as they follow. The survivors move towards the hill, though they show apprehension and worry. As the survivors break from the caravan for the bottom of the hill, the infected packs combine at the edge of the highway into the horde. Their moans turn to growls, and more decayed bodies rush ahead and weave through the vehicles and wreckage. Under the blaze of the morning sun in the clear Colorado sky, the chemical smell of burnt grease mixes with the stench of rot. The hill rises to the west, so steep you can't see the top, and the dense clumps of spruce and pine stand maze-like. Benji and Nathan are first up the 50-yard slope, maneuvering through the low branches and clearing a path for the others. Rachel, Rosie, Gina, and Jamie fire down at the undead ahead of the mob, giving time for the rest of the survivors to start up the incline. Looking back, you watch as the last of the infected rush from the highway and field. Not enough were killed by the two teams of survivors, and the writhing horde poses a real threat as they lay chase. "Let's go, Ma!" Riley shouts over the clamor of the infected. He holds her under one arm and leads her with careful steps up the rise. The woman's face shows her struggle, and she digs her cane into the loose dirt as her feet shuffle along the cleared path. "I'm trying, Riley," she says in a shaking voice. Parker and Kelly maneuver up the incline, while Brody and Madison rush ahead through a thicker part of the forested hill. "Where are you two going?" Nathan yells to the twins as he rips a branch down from a tree. "Scouting the top of the hill," Brody says. "There could be zombies up there." The horde flows through the caravan like river water around stones. They ignore the vehicles and focus on the sight and scent and sounds of the living, drawn by an unseen force to bite and infect. Their faces bear the marks of decay, and those in front show teeth as they bark in primal madness, while those behind follow in a languid parade of death. They move towards their group with no thoughts of their own, but pulled by the gathering until it's their turn for a taste of flesh. The crack, pop, and boom of gunfire rips through the forest in sonic waves, and the bodies of the first few undead fall to the dirt and tumble down the incline, dragging those behind them. At the base of the hill, Bailey, Lopez, Church, and Woody fight back the zombies making the incline. As the zombie horde swarms the bottom of the hill, you consider the possible actions you can take. You could join the team defending the hill, helping to kill off the horde and giving time for the non-fighters of the group to climb the hill. Or you can rally them to fight, inspiring and actively leading them in order to increase their morale. You could help clear a path to the top, which would allow the others to reach it faster. You gaze across the hill at Riley and Nora. While he helps her up the hill, your group loses a capable fighter. The faster she makes it up the hill, the sooner Riley can help deal with the horde. Or you can head up to the top of the hill by yourself. It's safer at the top, or at least that's the current theory. Okay, I'm going to help Nora up the hill so that Riley can get his butt over and help. You run to the side of the hill where Nora is climbing along with Riley, who holds her arm to give support. Her cane catches a loose stone, and she falters but grabs a tree limb to keep from falling. "Let me help," you say, and hold her free arm. The older woman gives you a half-smile and focuses back on the uneven slope, taking careful steps forward. "Thank you, Derek," Riley says with a tall smile. At times, the hill slopes at a higher angle, forcing Nora to put more weight on you and Riley. You struggle to keep yourself from faltering as you support the old woman. Before she puts each foot ahead, you kick away stones and feel for unseen obstacles that might endanger her movement. Behind you come constant snarls and gunfire, pushing the three of you farther up the path to what you only assume is safety past the edge of the hill. "If I'd known we'd be hiking, I would have worn my boots." Nora lets out a short, tired chuckle, and though she tries to make light of the trek, you see wear on her face and hear the tiredness in her voice. "You got it, Ma. Look, you're almost there," Riley says, his voice upbeat but his face showing sadness. "I know I'm close to the top, dummy. My eyes still work," Nora says through labored breaths. This gets a broad smile from Riley. "I know you're all right if you're busting my cojones." Past the hill's midpoint, her legs quiver and arms shake as you hold her. Each careful footstep is harder than the next, and not until she hears the summit does she stop. Or nears the summit does she stop. Help me sit, Nora says, and you and Riley lower her to a flat stone a foot off the ground. That's the most exercise I've had since I streaked that Stones concert in '93. Okay. Once she sits, Riley takes out a pack of tissues from his back pocket and hands them to his mother. She takes one, reaches out, and squeezes Riley's hand with a weak smile. Thank you, Derek. You were a lifesaver. She daps some sweat from her brow. Now, both of you get your asses out of here and help the others. You've spent enough time catering to an old lady. I love Nora. She's so nice. More of the infected rush from the caravan, hitting the incline in a tidal wave of diseased flesh. Their bodies swarm over the dirt hill and rise on sheer numbers, pushed from behind and carried up on the swell. The group at the bottom of the hill is forced backwards up the incline, but remain in the lower section to keep the horde at bay. We're not going to make it. We gotta run. Church turns and starts up the hill through the cleared path. Screw this, Rosie says and runs up the incline. Out of ammo, Jamie shouts and slings his submachine gun over his shoulder. A zombie runs up the hill at him, passing gunfire from other survivors, and lunges. Jamie catches the diseased man by the throat, lifts him in the air, feet dangling over the dirt terrain. With a barbaric cry, Jamie tosses the zombie into the horde below, knocking them down like bowling pins. Rachel tosses a handheld object over her shoulder like a football. It floats over the horde and lands far behind the caravan into a dense pack of infected. Live grenade, she shouts, and a moment later, an explosion rips through the pack of undead, sending up smoke and body parts in a flash of light and knocking down those nearby. Nathan and Benji hack their way through the forest in a straight line towards the summit. Ahead of the group rises a sheer face of the hill, 10 to 20 degrees higher than the rest. Brody and Madison have reached it already, choosing to go ahead of the rest of the survivors. With the horde now rising up the hill, you need to decide what to do next. You could help defend the hill and thin the horde that still presents the largest threat you've faced to date. You could rally the survivors to fight, motivating them to defend the hill. Or if you fear the hill is lost, you could order a retreat and save as many as possible. Oh my. Let's see what to do. God, I mean, if I didn't want to worry about as many people, I could just go kill a survivor now. Why not? Damn. Let's do this. I think they're still okay. Hopefully no one will die. As your group fights the advancing infected, you make a break up the hill to reach the top and secure a rope line for the others to use. You use the path Benji and Nathan have been carving through the wooded area, but as they've only made it to the halfway point, you continue through the brush. After a few more long minutes of climbing and listening to the sounds of a battle from behind, you reach a high point, find a spruce with a large, sturdy trunk, take out your rope, and throw one end around it. Your hands work quickly to loop the rope several times around the tree and tie it in a tight knot. Once it's secured, you toss the loose excess down the hill and follow it down. It reaches almost to the bottom, so you tie the other end around another tree, providing a support line for the other survivors to ascend the hill. The infected pour from the highway, past the caravan, and up the hill, and you finally see an end to their numbers. These aren't just campers and road workers. There are police and aid workers, farmers and ranchers, teachers and lawyers, citizens of the outbreak of all shapes and sizes and colors and former creeds. Fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, and every shade of good and evil that made up the world just days ago. These are your fellow citizens who were working, going to school, progressing in another way of life. Those thoughts and struggles and drives are no more, replaced by a single, ultimate, inescapable one: hunger. You look around the hill at your fellow survivors. The defenders have risen to the midpoint of the hill and form a new line from which to hold back the advancing horde. Nathan has cleared a path to the top, close to your rope line, making it easier for all to climb. Benji is moving back down the hill to help the others still defending against the horde. It's clear up here. Come on, Brody shouts from the top of the hill, hands waving like he's directing a plane to land. Once at the summit, Madison turns and aims her rifle back through the forest. I'm going down to help. Brody runs along the cleared path, taking giant steps along the slope at great speed. Parker and Kelly reach the top with Nathan, and the three create a human chain up the steepest part of the hill to help the other survivors clear the summit. A rush of zombies branch off from the horde and stagger up a ridge on the western face of the hill, flanking the small group of defenders. From the front, a new wave of infected scramble through the thin forest, targeting each survivor. You need to figure out what to do next. If you fight with the defenders, will you be able to kill the horde? What of the pack rushing the defenders from their blind side? Diverting some survivors will stop the surprise attack, but it also might weaken the main defense. How can you defeat the pack yourself instead? Oh, shit. I don't think anybody died yet, though, so I think I'm doing okay. I think... Oh, God, I'm probably gonna die. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Not to draw away defenders from eliminating the horde, you rush to meet the pack of undead. The uneven ground proves challenging for the diseased attackers, but their pure desire to feed sends them straight for the group of defenders, who maintain their focus on the rising horde. You rush through the forest and prepare to attack. I still had ammo, I think. 3 zombies lead the pack and move in a straight line at the rear of the hill defenders. The terrain isn't slowing them down, and they're closing in on the backs of your group members. You raise your Springfield rifle and fire, aiming for the head. The first infected drops from the shot, and you bring down the next one in line with a second press of the trigger. The third disappears behind a group of trees, so you swing your weapon far ahead of the natural obstacles. Seconds later, he pops into view, and you place a well-timed bullet through the base of his skull. 4 more infected scamper through the woods, their movement hampered by the slope of the forest. You kill the first 3 in quick succession. Out of ammo, you scramble to reload your Springfield rifle. You have no spare magazines for it. You switch to your trench knife. As you switch to your spare weapon, the next pack of infected rush around a group of trees. Oh God. You raise your trench knife and time your fist swing for the approach of the lead zombie. With a quick slash, you drop him to the ground, and he rolls several yards before hitting the trunk of a pine. You lash out at the next in line, ending his prolonged life. The third infected drives forward, arms outstretched, hands at your throat. Dodging sideways, you spin and strike the back of his head, dropping him to the forest floor. 4 more infected scamper through the woods, their movement hampered by the slope of the forest floor. You weave your weapon in a pattern of trained movements. Your first attack impales the forehead of the first, and you yank out the blade as the next zombie lunges. You jam the knife under his chin and watch as his eyes roll back as his unlife fades. As the next circles a tree, you yank out your weapon, spin, and backhand swing, driving the blade through his eye. Turning, you let the last of the 4 dive past you, and as he collides into a tangle of branches, you drive the trench knife into the base of his skull. As the rest of the zombies scramble to reach you, your trench knife lays them all to rest. The defenders below know little of the threat they face, but you've given them the time they need to fight against the horde. Long, desperate minutes have passed for the group of survivors on a hill over a highway somewhere on the outskirts of Nightfall, Colorado. The undead claw and crawl their way past their fallen numbers, driving them deeper into the dirt. The highway and fields are clear now, and the infected remaining haven't lost their motivation to kill, to feed, and they struggle up the hillside, stroked eyes fixed upon the survivors. With a sudden surge, the infected charge the defending survivors, and you watch as the 2 opposing sides collide from your spot near the summit. Woody stands at the front of your group, and a pack of living dead attack him first. Oh no! They drag him down to the ground, and you hear his screams from the bottom, how he calls out Jamie's name until the creatures strike too deeply. Woody! No! You raise your trench knife at Woody's feeders, but slowly lower it. He's gone, and you have to focus on saving the other survivors now. R.I.P. Woody. Oh, no. Another scream rises through the forest, and Jamie runs towards his cousin and the group of feeding zombies. He makes it a few yards before a pair of zombies block his path. He drives a sharpened stick through one's head and throws a shoulder into the other, launching him through the air and down the hill. The blow knocks Jamie to the ground as Woody's cries stop, and the infected have calmed in the glory of their feeding. Jamie's hands reach through the air like he could touch his cousin under the pile of gnawing teeth. Run back! Run up the hill! Bailey shouts as she slams her bat across the head of an infected. The wooden weapon cracks, sending out tall splinters. She crosses one arm to shield her face and backs into a tree. The swarm of zombies run into her, and the first bites into her arm down to the bone. Oh, God! Bailey shudders in pain, mouth agape, but she doesn't cry out. Her other hand jams a shard of the broken bat into the zombie's eye. Another takes his place, kneeling to drive his mouth into her stomach. As another zombie pins her head back to sink her teeth into Bailey's throat, a shot cracks the air, and a bullet to the back of the skull ends the young woman's life. From across the dirt track of the swarming forest, Rachel lowers her rifle. The rest of the survivors abandon the low point of the hill and take to higher ground. You turn and swing at the closest infected, a soldier. He falls to the dirt floor, out of view. As the main horde ascends, they look to overtake their human targets. Rosie is the last up the incline, and the zombies fall in behind like a team of dogs hunting a rabbit. She fires back, striking one in the legs, which drops it under the rest. Her submachine gun goes empty, and she turns to face them, laughing. Too bad for you, I'm all skin and bones. This meal is gonna suck. As the infected rush at the red-haired woman, she holds her arms wide like she's greeting an old friend. The first zombie bites her wrist, and the second one sinks its teeth into her thigh. Rosie cackles as they feed, her mocking laughs echoing through the forest. Is that all you got? Another zombie scrambles into her, latching onto her shoulder, and then another, and her laughter turns riotous. The rest of the survivors look haggard and sullen, watching the deaths of their groupmates and having no time to react, to grieve. You're next, buddy, Nathan says and offers his hand to Benji. Oh, whoops, I guess he wouldn't have said that so meanly. You're next, buddy, Nathan says and offers his hand to Benji, the next survivor in line. I got this, man, the doctor says, waving his hand away and jumping up the short cliff face. His foot doesn't reach high enough, and he falls flat to the dirt. No! Nathan drives to catch his hand, but Benji is already gone, sliding as fast as a rocket down the slope and into the horde. His body disappears under a gang of infected, and no one even hears his screams. Holy shit! Damn! Okay. I have to pause right here and talk about this because, wow. Wow. Thank you, Jim, for making that so much harder. Jim is the guy who wrote this game. Because I remember doing it and thinking, wow, the battle on the hilltop is way too easy because every time I did it, I won and no one died. No matter what I did, it seemed like no one died. So now things are way different and oh my gosh, thank you. That was like really fucking intense. And way more difficult than I was expecting. In a good way. In a very awesome way. So hell yeah. Alright, anyway. Also, I know this sounds horrible, but I'm kind of happy now because I struggle with remembering how many people there are. And it's sad that a lot of people are dead, especially Woody, because I really liked Woody. But now it'll be a little easier for me to keep everybody straight. Alright, well, anyway. I think the end of the chapter is close, yeah. The top of the summit leads to a wide clearing, where your group holds as the zombies continue their climb, only to fall at the peak of the incline. They have no way to reach you, making this the safest spot you've been for a while. Past the clearing lies a dense forest, and you can only hope that it's deserted. You stand high on a flat stone rock and call out to the survivors. Great job, everyone. Let's take care of the few remaining and help everyone get to the top where it's safe. As you look over the small Colorado hill and the combined horde shambling and clawing their way, you can't help but wonder where they all came from. Did they leave their homes in one communal calling and move together to scour the earth for the living? Or is it just nature? A relocation of sorts from an area where the living have been purged, so the dead search for a more suitable area to find vessels for the virus. Okay, sweet. And we made it to chapter 6. So, yeah, wow, that was really intense, you guys. Damn. So yeah, I tried my best. Everyone's probably gonna hate me. Especially for the fact that I killed Woody. Even though I didn't really mean to kill Woody, but, you know, whatever. Sorry, Woody, R.I.P. I love you, you're a great character. Alright, well, anyway, that was exciting. So, I think now there's going to be like a little respite for all the characters, hopefully. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I will see you all later. Bye.